Welcome to our Castles and Crusades Planescape game, Save Hell. My name is DM Steve, and we are the Dicks in the Dark. And if you like Castles and Crusades, Planescape, or just exciting TTRPG actual plays, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so that you don't miss any of these great games that we're playing. And if you're feeling generous, share this video and let other people know about us. Without further ado, here's the newest exciting episode of Save Hell.
Shadows of the battlefield, the Union man stands tall. Silent assassin in the night, heed the Reaper's call. Siding strikes, a tiefling, holy fire in his eyes. Paladin of dark and light, beneath the blood-red skies. Bound by fate, three souls unite in the depths of hell to make you right. Save hell, save the multiverse, break the chains, reverse the curse, and the fire in the flame. Three heroes rise to win the game. And Aasimar of ancient lore, wizard of the plains, with spells that rend reality and magic that's insane. They march into the abyss where angels fear to tread, to save the realms of all we know. They walk among the dead. Bound by fate, three souls unite in the depths of hell to make you right. Save hell, save the multiverse, break the chains, reverse the curse, and the fire in the flame. Three heroes rise to win the game.
When last we left our heroes, they had just awoken in the tower of Garrett to a horribly shrieking voice they heard coming from a mirror in Aepheus's master's chamber. And of course, it was Gwylldur Gardenia, the clerk at the Fraternity of Order, otherwise known as the Governors. And he wanted to know where the heck was Garrett, and where the heck was Aepheus Belamonti. Of course, he found out when Aepheus and his friends came rushing into the room. They realized that they needed to get a portal key to get to the city of Sigil. They did, and after arriving, Aepheus was greeted with a mountain of paperwork that he had to complete in order to even become a trainee of the Governors. Meanwhile, Reg and Bruny went to Joe's bar, where Bruny had an unusual drink that made him incredibly inebriated. They had some fun getting lost around town and eventually met back up. When they went back to the Governors, a package had been delivered for Aepheus while he was filling out his paperwork. The package contained the finger of Garrett, along with a note saying that if you want the rest of your master, bring your two friends to the spike in Ribcage. And you talked to Mr. Gardenia. He said the Governors would support your effort. You got a room above Joe's bar. After filling your bellies again with some great food, finally, you're satiated and you're resting. And that is where we find ourselves now. It's almost impossible to sleep in the apartment above Joe's bar, because in the morning Joe's is bustling, and here in the court district, in the the ladies' ward, uh, what you'll find is that it's noisy in the morning. There's a business. There's a lot of stuff going on. So the commotion has woken the three of you up, and Grundy is finally back to his wits.
That's a question, and this is something I don't remember.
You're a
Does it
little
get dark?
quiet, Dan.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is something. There we go. Is
There
this
you go.
this is something I don't remember?
Hmm.
Does it get dark?
There's a kind of an ambient shift that kind of mimics a day-night rhythm, but there's no sun or anything like that. So that's right. There's like peak light. There's day and dusk. There is a night and dawn, but it's like it's not fully. It's kind of a rhythm.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, so it is. It actually is morning, and you were pretty sure that last night was night, and now it's bustling. People are up, the courts are in operation, and you are definitely awake.
Okay.
I would say Reg is always up early. It's his
Mhm.
military thing. He's just,
Right.
especially if he gets a good sleep. He's up.
Hmm.
He's up. He's got everything packed. He's got his boots polished. He's doing the.
Right. Brunyr is probably feeling a little rough. He had already started to experience the beginning of the hangover last night,
Mm-hmm.
but it's so he's kind of experiencing the end of it, and but it's probably not too bad at this point.
Yeah, he's still a little sore because I'm still not full. I'm at 8 of 13 right now.
That's right.
Wait a minute.
Also, yeah,
Is
you
this
get
the first time that he's ever been drunk?
Oh no,
no way.
definitely not.
Definitely not. Not with
Never
his
had a-
lifestyle.
Yeah, never had a drink like that, but
Yeah.
definitely had alcohol before.
Okay.
Right. By the way, I don't think I'd said, but you got 2 more hit points.
Overnight.
Mhm.
All right, then I'm at 10, 13.
Okay. Is everybody else at full?
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
I am now.
Excellent. So you're feeling good. You get all your things ready, and you're feeling like if you're going to Ribcage, it might be a good idea to make sure you are fully equipped. You don't want to spend too much time on it because, well, that was a finger. So time is of the essence, clearly. But some of you may want to procure some arms or better armor, things like that, before you make your way back over to the governor's to see about passage to Ribcage.
I assume if Aepheus has been to Sigil before with his master, he knows how to get to the Grand Bazaar.
He does. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not that difficult, and it's not actually that far away. It's just that there were some problems yesterday because of the inebriation factor and the not being able to read planar common factor a little bit into that. But yes, the Great Bazaar is literally just on the other side of the Nobles District, so it's fairly easy to get to. And is that where you're going to take your compatriots today?
I will, yes. On a normal day, Aepheus is a early riser. So he wakes up, he gets his spells memorized, the paperwork about the missing person report, completed that yesterday when we got the room. So as long as we're ready to go, I'm ready to go.
All right. Ready to rock.
I think we're ready. Yeah, I would definitely like to get some equipment or check out some equipment, but good to go.
Okay.
So is that what you do? Make your way out of Joe's and down the street heading towards the Great Bazaar?
Making my way
Yeah.
downtown.
Making my way downtown. That's your jam. You know, you get a
Walking
little.
fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Walk like an Egyptian.
No, you ruined it, Dan.
Banana,
Nah.
banana.
No, I didn't, because that's an excellent song.
I mean, it's a good song, but you know, that's not what we were doing. All right, so you make your way through the streets of Sigil, past all kinds of bizarre and interesting individuals, through the nobles' ward, and eventually into the Great Bazaar. And you're seeing lots and lots of various shops and all kinds of places that, well, it looks like you could procure just about anything here.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Reg is specifically looking for a place where he could actually sell something.
Well, it depends on what he's trying to sell, and also Reg is the most foreign, so he has no
Yeah.
idea what he's looking for when it comes to selling anything.
Yeah, you
Well-
should really let me do the talking.
Right. So I look at Aepheus and I say, and I put it in the Discord chat.
Yeah,
So
I saw the.
So I
veteran
pull
models.
I pull one of those out, and I say,
Well, what is it? Because you need to describe it for the.
so it's a Confederate $1 bill,
Okay.
Kinda
and
cool.
I say, I don't think y'all have anything like this here, but because it's kind of unique here, it might be worth some of that gold.
So as Reg is like, he pulls out this thing and he's talking about it, he's like doing this and he's like, it might be worth some of this gold. And as he says that, a guy runs by, bangs him in the head. He receives 1 point of damage, like falls to the ground. The guy rips the bill out of his hand and like darts down the street.
Shit.
Oh. Are you okay, friend?
Ah! What the hell was that?
A little
it's
bit
a s-
of
It's a sign. We got to be a little bit more careful about this gold. This G.
Ooh,
Mikey.
you're like kind of reeling from that. You did not expect that to happen, but that was pretty crazy.
Sigil,
Brundy.
unfortunately, is a place of many incidents like this.
Brundy,
Wait a
make
minute. That's
an
the thing is,
intelligence
this,
check.
This is a marketplace. That should be
Oh.
like, that's crazy. That's crazy in a marketplace. Oh my god. Oh my god.
How did I get a 2 on that?
Oh, because probably it adds your level. Or no,
I have
wait.
a minus. Yeah, it adds my level, and I have a minus.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's right. Right.
Two.
Yeah, you're just flummoxed by the entire situation. It was not what you expected, and that person, they just disappeared into the crowd. I mean, they're like, after seconds, they were just gone. And also, like, not like other than you and your friends, like nobody even really like, maybe like one person was kind of like, huh, but like people didn't really stop to look. It was kind of like that. Imagine that happening in like New York City in like
Okay.
At Chinatown at like 3 a.m.
Mm.
and like nobody's gonna
Mhm.
be nobody's just gonna pay attention. Yeah, because I actually saw that happen in New York at Chinatown once at 3 a.m.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yes. Anyway, so that happens, and the three of you are just kind of stunned. Finally, Reg, you get to your feet and you kind of get your bearings about you, and you realize now you only have $5.
Mm-hmm. So I ain't gonna pull another one out, but I got a little bit more. Apparently, they are worth something. Where can I take these?
Perhaps, yes. I feel like it would be a collector's memorabilia is where you would get the most value out of it. I'm sure there's something like that around here. We just have to find the right vendor. I don't know. Maybe we could search for it real quick.
Sure. You start to search around, and while you're looking for that, is anybody looking for anything else, or
Yeah, like a weapons or armory,
So you're looking for a weapon shop,
blacksmith.
armor shop. Okay. So you're looking around, trying to find anything that you can find where you might be able to sell one of these unusual pieces of currency that Reg has. And of course, also looking for a place where you might be able to find some weaponry. After a little bit, you find a place that is called the Jink and Junk Exchange.
What?
The
Jink and
Jink and Junk Exchange.
That's racist, dude.
It is a faded wooden sign creaking above the door that just says, it's like kind of etched into it very crudely, Jink and Junk Exchange. And it's got an extra little note scrawled at the bottom of the sign. Of course, Reg can't read it, but Aepheus can, and it says, "If you ain't spending, keep walking."
Well, this may just have to do.
It seems like a chaotic shop of practically anything that you could imagine. So you're thinking if you're going to get rid of something, this might be the spot because it looks like they have everything. Literally everything.
I guess we'll walk in then.
Okay. So you walk into the shop, it's a chaotic mess. There are shelves stacked high with random gear, half broken trinkets, there's dust covered oddities, all kinds of things just laying around. Lanterns, randomly placed, cast dim lights unevenly over piles of what look like secondhand weapons and dented helms. There's like half used like potion bottles and stuff, and all kinds of unusual just little things. When you walk in, this haggard looking goblin comes out from the back. This is the first time Reg has seen anything like this. The guy is maybe about 3.5 feet tall. He's wearing kind of a shabby cardigan similar to the one that I have on, but maybe a little bit more frayed. And he's got patchy like fur on the top of his head and oversized yellow teeth.
Wait a minute. He's what's his name from the Phantom Menace?
Watto? He doesn't
He's
have
Watto?
wings, he's not flying.
He's Watto, but I mean you damn near
Not really.
Watto.
Not really.
Yeah, you owns
Uh
the junk shop.
so that guy comes out and he's like, what you want,
Good morning, sir. Yes, we were looking to inquire about very interesting merchandise we have here. We were looking to possibly exchange. My good friend here has currency very valuable from his homeland. Would you care to take a look, perhaps an appraisal?
Take down money, ya town can. I'll take a look.
Pull one out.
He takes it, and he's like looking at it. He kind of holds it up to one of the lanterns. He sniffs it. Where country?
Yes, where's your homeland?
Well, this is a Confederate dollar from Confederate States of America. Very rare here.
Don't rare. Ting ta. He like takes a loop. He's like looking at it again. And then he goes, trade? Shakao? And he like kind of gestures around his shop.
Perhaps. Let's take a look and see what we can find. Gentlemen, I'll stay here. I'm really okay for things at the moment, but take a look.
You're looking around, and I mean, there's all kinds of weird stuff here. Like I said, are you looking for anything specifically? I mean, obviously, it sounded like Reg was trying to get money for his money,
Yeah.
but is there anything you're looking for here? There's, again, it's just piles upon piles of like, just it's like one. Have you ever gone into one of those like flea markets and like there's always the one stall at like one of those like flea markets that's just like it looks like a hoarder's stall where it's just junk piled upon junk and like maybe there's good stuff in there. That's what this place is like. But you probably have to pick through unless you're like really trying to zone in on anything specific. I mean, it even almost does look like one of those kind of junk shop / antique stores. There's like rings of keys. Like I said, there's like half drank potions. There's all kinds of stuff. You like you 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 walk past this thing and it's this like sack and on it it says grimy special no refunds bag.
God. Tell him that just looking to see if I could sell it.
Yes, my good man. My friend here was wondering if he could just exchange for some local currency, gold, silver.
Go ahead and make a charisma check.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, damn.
Okay. Hey, okay. And he looks around. He like he pulls out 5 silver pieces and he like slides it over and he like kind of slaps his hand on the table. Gato.
Is that 5 silver pieces per Confederate dollar or total?
No, I only got $1.
He only pulled out 1, so it seems like 5 per 1.
It's acceptable to you?
Now you know what a silver is worth because you've seen it spent. 3
Yeah,
silver got
like a
a meal and a drink.
It's not bad.
So, for right now, just so that he has a little money in his pocket, he's going to do it.
But just with the 1?
But just with the 1.
Okay.
Because Dredge is getting the idea that this is a shady dude. This is probably not the best place to do this.
Yeah,
But
I
for
mean,
right-
this is
but-
this is
but for right
definitely
now-
not like a fancy currency exchange or anything like
Yeah.
this. You're dealing
Yeah.
with the lowest common denominator
Mhm.
pretty clearly, but it is
Right.
kind of who you have. So you make the deal, and the goblin who
Where is money on here, by the way?
I think we
It's not.
figured out that
Yeah.
there's not a spot for it, and we had
Yeah.
to put it
yeah.
in
Okay.
like
I
Now just
yeah, I put
down
it in
here.
inventory with
inventory.
dashes.
Yeah, just
Yeah, I'll
have to
just put it
mark
down
it.
there. Okay.
I don't know
so-
why there's not a spot for gold. You would think there'd be a spot
Yeah.
for gold, of all
Yeah.
things, but
How much? How much did he slide across? 8?
5.
5. Okay.
What do you slide across 15 silver?
15
Hey,
gold, you
what?
say?
15 gold? and
What?
silver?
What? 20 platinum?
30 platinum?
Yeah.
Wow, not bad.
Wait a
Nah,
minute.
nice
like,
try.
Like some diamonds and some
Yeah,
rubies?
yeah. Yeah. Roll on the
What do you mean?
jewelry table?
Uh,
Hmm.
actually, while I'm here, I actually do have an idea. I thank the man or the goblin for his transaction, and I do walk around a little bit, just kind of eyeing things up. And I go around the corner down one of the aisles or something, and I'm gonna cast a little bit of detect magic with
Oh.
apparently
Oh my god! Look at
damage
these
20.
rolls.
I don't know why it does that, but
yeah. I don't think it even needs
There you
a thing.
That's much
So
better.
detect magic here. Let's see. Blah blah blah. Can detect the presence of magical auras in the direction. Okay.
I bet you that goddamn finger glows.
May both cast a spell and begin detecting it.
ETS.
Just reading the spell here really quick.
Yeah, you're good.
Magical areas, multiple types of magic or strong local emanations may confuse. Okay, blah blah blah. All right. I got it. Okay, so Aepheus, he sneaks around one of the corners and sneakily casts a little detect magic, and then kind of has a bit of a look around the shop, and to his surprise, there are a handful of things in the shop that do glow. So it's there's kind of a little bit of you detect some glowing under like piles of stuff again. Are you gonna investigate?
Oh, of course. What kind of stuff do I find?
So you're looking around, and there's a big bin, and the bin on it says might be magic scrolls found in an old wizard's trunk. And
Okay, that's
in the
pretty funny.
bin there is some glowing, but not all of it.
Okay. Magic scrolls are one thing. Are there any like items that are glowing?
You look around, you start looking around, you dig through, there's a little box that's glowing.
What's in the box?
You pull the box out, and like it's a bunch of little tools, like little finely made little tools. You're not what could these be for? Are you around anybody else, or are you still kind of snuck around the corner?
I mean, I'm not really hiding once I cast a spell. It's more so just
Right,
hiding.
yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha, yeah. If Reg catches a glance, it looks like you got yourself a little set of lockpicks and there.
Magical lockpicks.
Lockpicks.
Very interesting.
Could be useful.
You
Could be.
you look around. There is a the other things that are glowing, there's a dented helm. It is glowing, but it's also dented. It looks like it might have a little tiny hole in it. And there's
That
a
means the magic wasn't that great.
I mean, still
Yeah.
glowing. And then there's a ring of keys, but only one of the keys is glowing on the ring.
Ring of keys.
Ooh.
That does sound interesting. But why do you need a magical key when you have magical lockpicks?
Unless it's a magic skeleton key. Why do you need lockpicks when you have a magical key that opens everything?
If indeed that is what it is.
Hmm.
Why do you need magical lockpicks when they're cursed
Yeah.
and they make it so that every door is trapped?
That is true.
Or a magical key that sits in your pocket and alerts every enemy to your position. You never know.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Anything in this shop could be anything.
Anything could be anything.
You could
You know,
you have
I am a wizard. I'll go back to the bin of scrolls and have a quick look at ones that are actually legitimate. Is there any interesting spells that I come across?
let's see.
Also, here's the thing: because you cast that and everything's glowing, the dude also knows that things are what's magical now.
It doesn't seem like the description makes it seem like in this version the caster is the only person that sees.
Oh, I see.
So it's not like in Beckme where you just light up everything. It's not quite like that because then he would be revealing things on his person that would light up. Like it's guaranteed the
Yeah.
God's eye is probably like blazing
Yeah.
through whatever
Yeah.
whatever you've got. I'll tell you what. Go ahead.
Doing a little percentile.
No, go ahead and first roll me a d4. What'd you get?
Two.
And then roll me a d20.
18.
Ah. You found one that you do not have, a spell. Go ahead and roll on your Ars Magica. I just poked myself in my eye
Ouch.
with my glasses. Yay.
God bless.
You believe the spell is See Invisible.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a second level spell, and it's not one that you have. I'm not sure if you can use it yet, but when you are able to use it,
Yeah, I can not even use it. I can write it down in my spell book and actually keep it permanently
correct.
when I have the time.
Correct.
So I will I'll walk over to the shopkeep and I was like, no, this looks like it could be legitimate. Let's say I'll give you 5 silver pieces for it.
5 silver. Okay, so you're trying to make a deal. Go ahead and roll another charisma check. Ooh.
Damn.
Oh my
Damn.
goodness. Okay.
Dude is just like charming the pants off this
And
troll.
and Grimy the Goblin rolled a big old
My
1.
God.
Nice.
So
man.
yeah, he thinks that that's actually pretty fair. So
Hell yeah.
he goes ahead and he gives you the scroll out of the out of the bin for 5 silver pieces. And at the moment, he seems to be favorable. You don't know how long that'll last, and you probably
I
need to
mean,
get going because again, your master's pinky finger.
yeah, of
So,
course.
anything else that you need to do here in this shop?
Unless Garrett finds some haggard equipment, then no.
Nah, the only real thing, this wasn't really a weapons store. Most of the weapons here look kind of janky and like weird and possibly unusable. You're not really sure, but it may not be the best thing. However, Brundy's pretty sure that he saw a weapon shop uh, as you guys were coming here. He was getting ready to stop and pull you guys in, but then you went into this weird place and smells.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's stop by. I thank the shopkeep for good trade, and be on our way.
Ah, yeah, goodbye. You notice that he's speaking a weird mix of common and some other bizarre language.
I wonder if
Uh,
it's a language I actually know or not.
which is
Probably not.
Goblin if anybody actually has Goblin. So he's
Yep.
speaking a weird, yeah. So you
Oh, so,
probably
so he is speaking French.
exactly, exactly. Uh, so Brundy, as you're coming back out, he pulls you over to a place. Looks like it's nestled between a bakery, which probably initially drew you because the fresh baked breads and pastries smell amazing. But it's right between a bakery and what looks like a scrap dealer. Its chimney is belching smoke. It's called Plates and Chains.
Plates and chains.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
That's the next place that Gordon Ramsay's going to be going for kitchen nightmares.
Right. So you walk into Plates and Chains, and you see that the shop's name is stamped into metal above the entrance. Inside, there are racks of armor lining the walls, and there's a central forge that's just blazing hot. Um, and it's, of course, casting its warm glow, the smell of iron and sweat. And you see a big, fat, one eyed dwarf with a big red beard, and he is pounding his hammer, forging something large. He's got a soot streaked apron, and he's like got massive shoulders, even though he's got like a great big belly. And his beard hangs all over his belly. Down the apron, he's got like huge shoulders. And he looks at you. Yeah.
Hey there, friend. I'm looking for some weapons, preferably a short sword and possibly some armor, or possibly an upgrade to this here shield.
All right. Name's Braggin. You, short sword you need?
Yes, nice to meet you, Bragg, and I'm Brunyr.
Ah, ha, 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 yeah. He reaches up and claps you on the shoulder. Let's see what we can find for you, Brunyr. And he starts looking around. What do you currently have? What's your current armor?
Armor, I have a Brigadine, which that I think I'm like set on. Shield, I have a large wooden shield, which maybe I could upgrade to metal depending on what it costs, and then I have chainmail coif for my head.
Okay.
Mainly,
He
it's sword.
right. The first thing that he comes across is he grabs like this big like chain suit, and he like kind of pushes it against your chest, and then lets go of it. Do you like hold?
Yeah, I'll hold it up.
It's like you like hold it. He lets go of it. It's pretty heavy, but it seems like pretty thick, and as you're kind of standing there holding it, he's looking around, and he grabs a short sword, and then he like turns around, he shoves the short sword into your hand. You like have like the mail in one hand, you have to like let off the mail with one hand and grab the short sword, and you're trying to like hang on to this stuff. And then he says, "You need a shield," you said.
Possibly. You have something better than a wooden
Sure,
shield?
and he like whips around and he grabs a shield and he kind of like shoves it between your arms where you're holding the chain up, and you have the short sword in one hand, so you end up having to kind of go like this to hold the shield.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Is there a counter? At this point, I'll just like drop things on a counter.
okay, you drop things on the counter and he's like, "Is that everything?"
Well, let me take a nice good look at this. I want to look at your craftsmanship first. I'm sure you're excellent, but let me take a look.
Everything here is made by me.
So, just a regular short sword, and then what kind of shield did he give me?
He gave you a let's see. He gave you a kind of a bigger shield than what you had. So you had kind of a little buckler shield. He gave you kind of like a medium shield. So it's I think like a Captain America size shield.
Okay. The one I have right now is +1.
That doesn't make any sense. How would you have a magical weapon or a magical shield? You shouldn't have anything magical.
I'm trying to find it.
I mean the it might add 1 to your AC is probably
Right,
that's what a shield should do. It should add. It shouldn't be a shield. A shield +1 would add 2 to your AC.
right. I think it's just
Okay.
a 1. I'm trying to find the table to make sure I'm not crazy.
Yeah, that sounds accurate. That sounds right, actually.
There we go. Shield small, AC +1. Right.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Oh, are all shields this? Oh no, it's. Oh, okay. I think that's the part I didn't understand at the time. It's um for 3. So armor class bonus is applicable against 3 foes in a round.
Right. So basically, yeah. So the idea is that like your first attacker, your second attacker, your third attacker, I guess, if there are multiple foes in a round, like a small shield protects against one, a medium. So what do you have specifically
A
right now?
large wooden shield.
Oh, you have a large wooden shield. So really, I
I'm set.
mean, you already have that. If he gave you a steel one, but
It wouldn't change anything.
it's not really going to change anything. I mean, there's probably some steel on your wooden shield anyway. So,
Huh.
yeah, as far as you can tell, that wouldn't change anything. The sword that he gave you is pretty much just a standard short sword, and the chain is just a standard, uh, a standard chainmail. They're very very finely made as well, as at least as far as you can tell. But otherwise, that's about it.
The chainmail would be an upgrade, but I have a feeling that's expensive. Would I be able to get a dagger as well? And how much do you want for this here chainmail?
Let's see. The chain was right there. I shouldn't have gone away from it. Let's see. This right here is gonna cost you around about 400 gold. And he's pointing at the chain mail.
Hooey, I think you might be your craftsmanship might be a little bit too good for me.
I can do. I see that your new cutters here. I'll do 15 for the short sword. Special just for you.
Short sword, you say?
Yeah, 15 gold. If you can't afford a 15 gold short sword, you might be in the wrong place, buddy.
What about a dagger as well? What if we do a short sword and a dagger?
All right, let's see. He grabs a dagger from the wall, plunks it down on the counter, looks at both of them, and says, 22.
I mean, I'm a new customer. If I take these out and I do well with them, I'll make sure to send them back to you. How about we call it just 15? How about we stay there?
Go ahead and make a charisma check.
Let's see how Brundy's charisma is. Oh,
Not good enough.
not that.
I think 15 is good for the sword.
22 for both. All right, I'll take the sword then.
All right, good. So just the sword?
Yep, just the sword for now. I'll come back.
All right. So he takes your 15 gold, gives you this short sword, and he says, don't come back in a body bag.
Red is watching all this. He's watched the last couple transactions now.
Mm-hmm.
He realizes that he is woefully poor.
Yes.
Yeah, me too, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I am now.
Yeah.
The other thing that he's probably also starting to realize is that, and everybody's probably starting to realize this, is that even if you get to some kind of an antique dealer or something that's interested in your money, they're probably not going to give you that much. And it's probably not going to last that long.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not thinking that there's anything that any of you really have that's really going to get you a lot of money.
Well, no, he does have something, but he's keeping it hidden. He's not pulling it out.
Do pocket watch?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not.
Yeah. Pocket watch.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No,
But I mean, other than that,
that is literally last resort.
right.
Like,
But other than that, he's thinking he probably doesn't really. And even that he's not sure, because this place is so alien that he. I mean, he might pull it out, and they might not offer anything. It might actually be common. He doesn't know. I mean, he's making an assumption. There's been way more crazy, intricate, wild things than a pocket watch. A pocket watch is really that seems like a big deal to him, but now that he's like thinking about it, it's like maybe not. They might offer me for the materials,
right.
which it is, it's nice materials, probably gold or something, right? But
Mm-hmm.
But even that, he realizes that, people that pay with gold coins. So how many gold coins can you really get out of a melted down pocket watch? Probably not that many. As he's kind of going over it in his head, he's starting to kind of play things over and be like, oh, we might need to figure out a way to make some money.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And all of you are starting to kind of feel that way. In fact, as you walk out of this weapon shop, you're feeling kind of woefully inadequate, and you're feeling like maybe your trip to the Great Bazaar is over, because other than getting some snacks, you're not sure that you can afford anything else here.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, fellers, off to the rib cage.
I do believe it's about time we make our way.
Or did we
We've
have
been-
to go back? We have to go back to the governor before we go to the ribcage, right?
That is
Well,
how we get to there.
yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't get to Ribcage by walking. Roads. So yes, you make your way back uh, to the governor's headquarters. Of course, the courts. Aepheus, fortunately, he knows his way around well enough to know the way. And as you make your way back in through the familiar archway, your friend Gwildor Gardenia is there to greet you. It's very late in the morning. I don't know what you've been doing, but do you have my report ready?
Yes, apologies for our lateness. We needed to make sure that we're well prepared and going to a place like Ribcage as
Yes, getting drunk, I understand. Your report?
Yes, here.
Okay, you give him the report.
I like the resignation in that. It's just like, yes, here.
He holds up like his monocle. He's reading over your report. What? Wait, what is this? And he's like, he slides it back over to you, and he points at the very first mention of the Infernus key. You mentioned the Infernus key, right?
Yes.
I forgot to ask you, is your report truthful?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he is asking you about the Infernus key. What is this?
It was a rather strange artifact we came across in, my master Archimethil Gareth's basement.
And it's still there?
After what happened when I touched it, it definitely is still there. Yes.
Oh.
Actually, wait a minute.
Yeah. When you went
Hold on a
back,
minute.
now that you're thinking, yesterday you did go back and check it out, but you didn't get close to it.
Yeah,
you kind of just like peeked down to make sure that it was there.
I was wondering if I actually tried to pick it up with like a glove or some kind of shielding.
You considered picking it up with like mage hand, but I think you
Oh, that's right.
realized that you had a sense just from being like right there that was maybe not a good idea.
Yeah, and I definitely didn't want to risk going back to that dungeon again. Yeah, the key is still there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, that adds all of this adds. And he's like continuing to read, and he's like, what? What?
Yeah, it's been a very few strange days. Otherwise, I would never show up late to such an important.
Yes, I
event.
understand now. I understand. This makes everything, well, even more pressing. We need to get you to Ribcage, so that you can figure out what's happened with your master, Archimethil Gareth's, and get back here and write a report about it right away.
Because goddamn, if you gotta have to write another report about anything.
So he takes your report, and then he rustles around and he pulls a cloth out of his desk, and he unwraps the cloth, and in it there is this kind of disgusting, desiccated jawbone. It's like half the bottom of a jaw of likely some humanoid being, but that had really sharp, like almost razor sharp teeth. And he says, "Be careful with this." And he hands you the jawbone. It's still got like a little bit of like kind of dried flesh on it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you. I'll be sure to handle this with delicacy. Um, do these port keys work both ways? Like, if I wanted to, could I even go back to the Master's Tower?
Yes. You can use the small apple if you walk through the archway that you originally walked through, which fortunately you haven't walked back through it. Uh, then you would be back in your master's chambers. This will work the same way. If you walk back through the entryway that you walked through, then well, you'll be right here. In fact, where you need to go, and he gives you a map of the entire complex. It's got like all these courtrooms and all these offices and stuff. And apparently there's some like derelict office that doesn't get used anymore up on the third floor, and so you've got to go up to the third floor and take this jawbone and walk through that door.
Okay, duly noted.
Hi, my name is Cameron, and I play Aepheus Belamonti in our Planescape campaign, Save Hell. You're watching Dicks in the Dark.
Well, what are you waiting for?
All right, gentlemen, follow me. I will lead us to this derelict office, and I'm on my way.
So you make your way through the governor's headquarters, past courtrooms and offices, all the way up to the third floor to a wing that is like all but mostly abandoned until you finally find room 318, which is the room that you need to walk through the door. And you stand in front of the doorway at room 318 with this jawbone in your hand.
Head on in.
You clamp together so that you remain together, and you walk through the door. And once again, your reality begins to shift. It's slightly disorienting. You're not sure you're ever going to quite get used to this. And
Ooh.
then you find yourself just outside of quite a, uh, well, quite an intimidating looking place. Of course, Aepheus has been before.
And I don't even want to know the prompts that you had to put in to make this happen.
This is the gate town of Ribcage. And
I see the little guys down here in the corner.
while yeah, that's you. And while Reg was asking before, why is it called Ribcage? Well, now he can obviously see the large ribcage like structures that surround the city, encasing it like a huge wall. You're just outside the city.
What made that?
Well, there are several rumors about the origin of the city of Ribcage. And I'll yap about what I know about Ribcage to him.
Yeah, you're thinking some of the possibilities are that is an actual rib cage of some thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, which blows everybody's mind a little bit. Now the portal that you've come through, there are these two rocks that are kind of leaning up against each other, almost like these rocks right here. There's various rocks kind of jutting out from the ground. The ground here is not very stable at all. It's craggy. It's black and burned. There's steam like coming up from various cracks in the ground. It's hot here. It's muggy. There's kind of a soot in the air. It's almost a little bit hard to breathe, kind of oppressive. You've walked from between these two stones, and you see the city before you, and it's somewhat intimidating.
Be on your guard here, gentlemen. It's, as you could probably quite tell, it's not a very hospitable place.
Indeed.
Where are we supposed to go in there?
Oh,
The spike.
yeah.
That's what the note said.
Where's the spike?
I imagine I start or should start to return to the place where I came here with Archimethil Garrethes the first time.
That does seem like the most logical thing to do. So, Aepheus begins to head down towards the town of Ribcage. Do the others follow?
Nah, we're just gonna stay here. We'll leave the wizard to his own. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
You're kind of overwhelmed by all the sights and smells, and you're really not thinking much of it. But as Brunyr goes to take a step, he's like, "Ooh, what the hell?" Literally, like his senses are going off like nothing he has ever felt in his entire life. He's
Could I?
he's encountered some like evil people and some evil things, some really wicked stuff, and there is nothing even close to what he's sensing from this city. And beyond the city, there's like it's like it almost has taken his breath away.
It's just so evil.
So evil.
Okay.
The evilest.
He peed himself a little bit.
Evil.
Yeah, just
He peed himself a little bit.
yeah. Yeah. Imagine that Aepheus, I don't think, has actually told you this, and nobody has said it. But Ribcage is the gate town to hell, which means that it's like it's really just like on the border. It's like the gate to hell, actually.
Which
So yeah, that's what Brunyr is going to be feeling as a paladin. He's going to be feeling the most evil that he has ever felt, and probably will ever feel until he actually gets in there.
Isn't the reverse true though too? Doesn't he stand out like a beacon to people?
I mean,
Probably not as much as I do.
you really don't. I mean, Reg wouldn't know at all.
Yeah.
And you don't. I mean, Grundy is not even thinking about that. It's the evil that he's feeling is so oppressive. But yes, that is true. Aepheus, obviously, I mean, kind of both of them stand out uniquely in their own ways, for sure. And you haven't even gone into the city yet. You're still kind of headed down. Are you following him? Because even Reg, I mean, obviously, this is like, I don't know, it's like a nightmare, kind of. Like, it's
Yeah.
it's almost worse than the dungeon. Because at least the dungeon, it was like a kind of a familiar, like, okay, we're in this enclosed thing. This is just like, what the hell? Again, literally.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you follow, gents? Or are you gonna sit there shaking in your boots?
Yeah.
Oh
Reg,
yeah, no, we're
Reg
going.
is gonna follow. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So you head down into the city, and you are unprepared because for Reg, it's literally like there are dozens and dozens of Jefferson Davises. The amount of devilishness here is unprecedented. People have horns and wings and tails. Um, genitalia is hanging out. Um, there's slick red skin. I mean, you if you didn't know better, and actually you don't really know, you would maybe think that this is already hell.
Ah.
It's pretty wild. And Brundy's kind of getting the same thing, and as you kind of go into the city, you're getting intense stares.
Yeah, my hands are on, like, my shield is held, and like my hand is on my weapons, like not out, but like I'm holding them.
Right, right. Intense, intense stares. Now, obviously, when Aepheus was here before, he was kind of with and under the protection of his master Archimethil Garrethes, and it really, he's not even sure if he got too many looks when he was here before. Now that he's thinking about it, he's wondering if he wasn't maybe somehow being enchanted in a way that he was unawares. But without his master here, people are definitely taking notice much more in your entire party. I mean, you're just standing out like a beacon. So as you're kind of walking, literally every eye comes upon you.
Well, I'm definitely fast walking, and
Even the eyes that are just eyes.
Yes, exactly.
no place to dilly dally. Straight to Spike.
So you're not exactly sure where the spike is. You know the alley in which you waited outside of where your master procured the God's Eye, or at least you think you do. Ribcage is kind of a big place. Maybe go ahead and make an intelligence check to see. A lot of these alleyways look the same, and the city's large.
Jesus.
This is not a place I would forget.
But you're quite clever, and this is not a place you'd forget. So very quickly, you and your companions fast walk, very fast walk, into a section of the city that
It's even
is
worse.
even shadier. If that's even possible, is even shadier. You see, like, you see this very, very long, skinny demon or devil or fiend, you're not even sure what, completely emaciated, kind of like leaning on the side of like this building right next to the alley where you think is the right alley. And as you come up to it, he like kind of like holds up this like tin cup in like a gnarled hand and kind of anything you can spare for a veteran of the blood war. You just stare at this guy. As you stare at him, he kind of goes, clink, and he like shakes the cup around, and you hear there's like 1 coin in there. You
I'll
stare at him.
add. I'll look
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Look
It's just
around
like,
first.
what the fuck?
Then I'll add 1 copper piece.
Oh. Trust nothing.
You like drop a copper piece into his thing, and he's like, and he like spits something gross out onto the ground, and kind of slumps backward. He doesn't thank you. You're
I
not sure
didn't
he
expect-
can.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to. On my way.
You peek into the alley, and you're looking. You think there might be some sort of an establishment down at the end of the alley. It looks like there's a doorway back there. You don't think your master went in anywhere, but it's really the only thing back here other than trash.
Hmm. Do I see any signage around, or even like on the way here?
No. There's no signs. There's no nothing. And like, this is literally like just a scrungy, dirty back alley. There are no signs. There are no.
Nothing as we were coming into the town, or
As far as what?
I don't know, like signage, like advertisements of like businesses or anything like that.
Ribcage isn't exactly the kind of place that advertises their businesses. I mean, there are, as you were walking through the city, there were clearly businesses, and they have signage on them or whatever. But most of them are on the main streets, on the
Thoroughfare.
main drags. So there are, obviously there are establishments, but you've gone to where your master procured the God's Eye, which is kind of a little bit out of the way. It's not really near anything else. So you're kind of in this, grungy part of town where there aren't businesses. You're not really sure what the buildings are here. All the buildings here are kind of tall and thin and dark, and you know everything's kind of claustrophobic and very oppressive. And then there's these like thin alleyways kind of filled with trash, and you're literally in one of these alleyways filled with trash.
Well, fuck it. I'm going up to the door then.
Yeah, and this is it as far as you can tell. You're not sure that there's anything else. And at least as far as along, these lines, unless you want to go knocking on doors in this part of town and see what happens.
Does this door look like it has one of those like eye slot kind of things, like there'd be a guard on the inside?
It does. In fact, it's got like it's not like a little peephole or just like a little slit. It looks like a pretty like decent size slot, almost like you could, pass things in and out, like more than just being able to look.
Okay. I'll knock on the door. Bang, bang, bang.
Okay. You knock on the door, and shh, the thing comes sliding open, and you see two large red eyes staring out back at you. Yeah.
I say an infernal suffering.
Shh. There's a bit of silence, And then after a beat, and the door opens.
We're going
And
back to my companions and let's head in.
Yep. Nod and follow.
Oh boy.
so you you head in and you head down this thin, smoky hallway. It maybe goes about 10 feet before finally opening up into a bar. And you see all kinds of devils, fiends, and various hellish looking mercenaries in here drinking and carousing. And when the three of you enter, all eyes hit you. What do you do? Is
Staring
everybody
back.
just like,
I'm angry staring down everyone that's looking at me. Like I'm very
okay, so
displeased.
you're mean mugging then?
Yes.
I think
Okay.
I think the only thing you have to do in this scenario is I'm gonna survey the room real quick.
Show him the finger. Show him the finger.
Quite possibly.
Right. Okay, so
I think you should give him the finger.
You first. Yeah, I'm gonna look around, surveying real quick. Try to take note of anyone in particular of interest. Also, if I recognize anyone from our previous encounter when my master was here.
well, you didn't actually go into this bar. You don't recognize any of these guys. In fact, you barely saw the person that your master was dealing with in this alleyway. He was hooded and quite large, but indistinct. Your master made you wait out on the street, so you really you were almost like a lookout, and you kind of really only were able to peer back a couple of times. The whole encounter, your master and this guy acquiring the God's Eye, I mean, it was like 30 seconds. Like he was like,
Okay.
"You wait here," like left
was,
you out here, ran down into the alleyway, did the quick deal, and then was back in a flash. In fact, you don't think you've ever seen Arkham after Garrett like scurry so fast as what he did when he went in and out of the alleyway.
Okay.
But
Do I see any signage in here as I'm looking around? Like, a sign that has the bar's name?
you do. It doesn't look like the bar is named the Spike at all. It looks like this bar is named the Grinder.
Oh no. Oh no.
I just realized.
Maybe
There's
they're not looking at us with stares of contempt.
Yeah, there's not a single female demon in this bar. Oh.
I did not realize that when I named this place, but
Oh my, we bumbled
Sure.
into this.
Yeah.
Set off a tinderbox.
So yeah, it appears this place may be called the Grinder, and the only other signs that you see are like drink signs, like signs that you'd normally see in a bar. Also, as far as you can tell, this place seems to be a like a drinking only establishment. There's no food in here. Thankfully, probably for your own sake, no food in here, but just drinks.
No, there's food in here now.
Yeah, exactly. So you kind of, you kind of get in there. You're looking at the signs. You're looking at the.
Why the hell did they call it or why'd they let us in if I said the password? And this isn't the place.
Do you say that out loud?
No, I'm thinking. I'm not saying shit
Yeah.
out loud here.
You're not
Hmm.
sure about that.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, Aepheus, you think this is the right place?
It's possible that the spike refers to something else.
I should have done more research before I came here. I'm a fool. Well,
Maybe we should just ask him.
I suppose we should. But when you're at a bar,
To the spike.
I walk up and make my way up to the barkeep.
Okay. You
Dude,
walk up. You make your way up to the barkeep.
You just got really dark.
Yeah, I think a cloud came by the window or something. I don't know.
Jesus.
But you
We're
walk up
sticking
to.
to him. I'm sticking like to Aepheus's back, like
Okay.
watching his back, vigilant.
Right. Yeah, I imagine you guys are sticking very close together and moving as a single unit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo style.
The entire time I'm here, I'm talking in Infernal.
Okay.
Well, I guess what time of day is it, if they even have day?
You're not even sure. Maybe there's light.
Yeah. I'll just say, hey, how's it going? What have you got?
Well, you might be able to handle our whiskey. Perhaps not, though. Three.
Yes.
Like when this guy talks, like it almost hurts your skin.
Yeah. I'm entirely on edge the entire time I'm here, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Reg has already shit his pants like 3 times.
Yeah. He's he puts these 3 what look like kind of double shot glasses. They're like pretty small, but kind of tall. And he takes out this bottle of just red liquid.
Fireball.
It's
Might as well.
no, the color red is just like you have not seen before. It's almost like a cherry red with a little bit of orange, almost oiliness to it. So it kind of makes it sparkle. He kind of goes across all 3 in one motion and pours 3 perfect little glasses. And then he looks at you and he says, "That'll be 60 cents." And he kind of smiles.
I smile right back at him, and I say to him, "How about this? How about we make it double? I have a little inquiry here, and I can see myself and my friends are kind of throwing off the mood, you could say. I just want to be on my way. A little question for you. Where can I find the spike?"
When you say, "Where can I find the spike?" the bar goes quiet. You could hear a pin drop.
This white guy in this black outfit and this spiky hair walks out.
Why do you seek the spike?
Got a little bit of business there. And
Business to die?
perhaps. Everyone's got to die one day, right? And I give him a nice little wry smile, and but, well, gotta do what you gotta do. How about it? Double for some information and some of your fine whiskey here.
Location of the spike for 60 cents. He looks at
For one to-
each of you. Sounds fair. And he holds out his hand.
I'm glad we could come to an agreement.
So 160 cents. That'd be like one gold and 6 silver, I guess.
Sure.
Or I mean, not 120 cents. No, what am I doing?
Yeah,
I
I was
can
gonna
math
say-
today real
Yeah.
well. 60 plus 60 is 120. Yay! So yes, that's going to be a gold and 2 silver. Special.
Yeah. There you go. I
Now,
slide
I,
him.
I figure I don't understand anything that he's saying.
No.
Did I actually, though, understand 60 cents?
Yes.
That would be pretty funny.
Yes, you did. Yes, you understood 60 cents. And every
Okay.
now and again, you do understand like a weird little word here
That's
and
what I
there.
figured.
Because it
That's
does
kinda
make
what I
sense
figured.
that there would be like common sprinkled into,
Mhm.
everyday vernacular. And he did use kind of a weird way. He said it in a weird way, and it for you it did sound right.
You know, if anything, I bet your Confederate money might have potentially more interest here.
More value down here, yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, give him the money. Give a glass to each of my friends. Cheers.
Oh, I definitely don't take it.
When in Rome.
The bartender,
So I'm
Kinda
sniffing this.
he kind of stares at you, and you get the feeling, the way that he's looking at you, that he's not gonna even speak what he knows until you drink. And if he
Until I
sees your
drink?
until probably all three of you drink.
Ah,
And if he sees Brundy's hesitation, he'll take and pull a glass out of the bar, and he'll pour himself a glass, and he'll hold the glass up, and he'll say, "Cheers, friend." And he's looking at Brundy, like in the eyes, when he says it. He's not looking at the others.
We're about to have a total party kill.
We paid for our drinks. We're good.
hey, if I'm gonna die in a bar fight, I might as well have a drink.
So Reg just goes for it. He goes for it.
All right. So the guy who also, by the way, has like very, very dark red skin. And he's only got these little horns. He's got little spirally horns, but it doesn't make him less intimidating because he is still like 7 foot tall.
Oh my
So,
God.
yeah, it's a bit weird. He hasn't said his name. He takes his drink. You take your drinks. Brundy, do you drink? No.
Not unless it's like
Brundy.
explicitly said I have to for this. Nope.
I look over at Brundy. When in Rome, Brundy.
What's wrong, friend? My liquor not good enough for you?
Unless he specifically says that on common, I guess I'll translate.
The only dealing I do with devils is with a sword.
Yikes.
I may need another.
When you say that, there's like some shuffling and around the bar.
Red just like he's like sliding it back across the bar, like I may need another one of these.
Ah,
Is that why you're going to the spike? Trying to fight? What do you got? Grudge? Some old timer? Devil or Yugoloth you're trying to kill?
ah,
He's
I can
he's
hear it.
he's looking at Brundy, and he said that in common.
ah.
I don't know why I'm here. Well, I know why I'm here, but no. I just don't trust a single devil.
But I'm
I'll
married.
I mean, I'll look at Aepheus and Reg and see they're still alive, and I'll be like,
Yes. Actually, go
guess.
ahead and both of you make Constitution checks.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see what happens here.
Ooh.
Whoa!
Oh, man. Oh,
We're fucking champs. We
Let's
got it.
go.
So both of you were like, I mean, it burned. It did burn, but both of you held it together really well during the burn, and you could feel it. Amazingly, it's not affecting
out.
you in the way that the Gazarine was affecting Brundy the other day. You can feel it. You can feel the warmth in your body, and you can feel maybe a little bit of tipsiness, but it's not. You're not like sloshed. You're not drunk. And other than that, there don't seem to be any ill effects other than that you feel really hot now. Like, oh, you're like sweating.
Good thing I have half heat damage.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I'll take a look over Brunyr, and I'll speak. Brunyr, I know, these are very strange lands and very strange people, but in my studies, Devilkin are true to their word. And in fact, you have already met one and have been proven that we have been helped.
Yes.
If you could,
You see, we're very helpful folk.
if you could do this one time for me, I promise to pay you back.
There is a weird little impish guy who has like crept up to the three of you and is like looking at Aepheus's wings, like with this like really creepy look, and like Reg kind of catches this guy like looking at Aepheus's wings and going like licking his lips. It's pretty weird.
I guess this is the grinder.
He's not looking at your wings, buddy.
uh,
I'll look back at Reggie. It's all a ruse. The intent here is to hinder us or harm us, but I'll grab the shot and I'll slam it back, very unhappily.
All right. You make your statement. You slam the shot back. Make a Constitution check.
Yep. Yep.
Shouldn't have had that gasoline.
Maybe it was because of the gasoline the day before, but the shot hits you extremely hard. And so hard that you actually like kind of lose your footing and have to like grab the bar. You're not drunk. You feel a little tipsy, but the worst thing about it is you feel like it's like somewhat sapped your strength.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, at least temporarily, you're as if you have a -2 to your strength.
Hmm.
And you're feeling kind of like sore almost from it. Yeah, it's pretty rough. Ah, good. Now let's get you your information. The spike. It's a rival establishment. There's an old courtyard. The very west end of town. That way. And he kind of points in a direction. It's closed off. Sometimes patrolled by hounds. But you may be able to make your way fast. If you are clever. Quick. You'll find the spike. The statue of the warrior. Middle of the square. It's an establishment for veterans of the Blood War. So may find entrance difficult to acquire. There's your information. Now get out of my bar.
Will do. Thank you kindly. Come on, Brunyr.
And as he says that, like, people are, like, standing up. You hasten out with eyes on the back of your head and find yourself back on the streets of Ribcage. The direction that he pointed was further down the road into what looks like an even more dark and shadier part of town. Almost burned out. That's the weird thing about it. You know that devils are orderly. And generally things here are pretty orderly, but there is this weird part of town that seems uncharacteristically unkempt.
Well, I suppose that would make sense to meet in the most dastardly part of the city. Let's try to get this done as fast as possible.
I agree.
You make your way down the street towards this darkened part of town, and it's not long before you can see the square up ahead. It's pretty apparent that that's the place that he's talking about. Unfortunately, it appears that the square is kind of like chained off with chains and possibly some sort of barbed or razored wire. Uh, from the distance through the chains, you think you can see the movement of hounds that are definitely not normal dogs.
Okay. I guess first things first is finding a way around this barbed wire. Um, I assume, if we're in the most decrepit part of town, surely there is a break in the line or
Mhm.
somewhere that we can cross over.
Right, right. So you approach over to the square and you start. Are you going to kind of make your way along the kind of chains and the razor wire, like close, and try and see if you can find a spot? And are you heading when you hit it? Are you heading to the left or are you heading to the right? If you head to the right, you're probably going. The square is kind of like up against like the walled part of the city. So if you head to the right, you're going to hit the wall quicker. If you head to the left, you're going to get more area.
I suppose the quicker route up against the wall, if we're trying to avoid, I assume when you mean area, like a more open area.
Well, when
And
I say area, what I mean is more area of wall. Like there's less wall to the right and more or less chain to the right and more chain to the left.
oh, I see.
Like if you go to the right, you're going to hit the outside wall of the city. You're actually going to hit one of these rib cages here.
Okay.
Basically, you're gonna get to like close to the outside wall of the city, essentially.
Then I would say take a left.
Okay. You walk left. Are all three of you sticking closely together?
Yeah.
Yes.
You
Guys,
stick
we're gonna
closely
spread out.
together. You're yeah, spread out. You're trying to find a spot, and finally you do find a spot where the chains are kind of broken. It actually looks like somebody just broke the chains. Like they're just completely broken in this one spot. The barbed wire is like ripped in half, and there's a fairly large, probably like 6 foot hole where you can just easily see through. The square is a large square, and in the center of its broken concrete, you do see what looks like some sort of a man-sized statue almost at the very center of the square.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
Uh,
you also see uh, what look to be three extremely large black hounds with glowing eyes. They're pretty far away from you at the moment and don't seem to notice you, but they seem to be just kind of stalking around in this empty square.
well, I guess it is time to do a little bit of stealthing.
I do have one use of invisibility left, if that makes it easier.
I
Reg
suppose it
also
would.
Reg has move silently as well, so he's gonna start to move silently.
Okay.
Oh,
he's moving silently.
Okay.
I'm not making a damn noise.
Silent moving is engaged. Anybody else doing anything?
Yeah, Aepheus, I'm gonna go invisible, but I'm gonna stick with you. I'm gonna stick right beside you.
Sounds like a plan.
And then yeah, I'm gonna cast invisibility on my self.
You're not really casting though, right?
Yeah, it's an ability.
It's an ability, an at will ability. So
Right.
you kind of concentrate and you do blip out. Um, and then Aepheus, anything special, or are you just going to
I don't know if I have anything
try
special.
to just kind of time it when the dogs are not around and try and just as quickly and quietly make your way to the statue as possible? Is that
I
the
do.
plan?
I do have one plan.
Okay.
Um,
And the plan is.
sorry, just reading a spell real quick.
Oh, okay, no problem. I was like, yes, I have a plan.
I have a plan.
I have a plan. Give me
Uh,
30 minutes to come up with the plan
yeah.
that I already have.
Yes, of course. Uh, okay, so what I'm going to do is cast Dancing Lights at the max range away from me, trying to create a humanoid dancing light figure to distract the hounds
Ah,
in the opposite direction of where we need to go.
I see. Okay, okay. So kind of send the dancing lights kind of away to the corner of the square.
Mhm.
Okay. So Brunyr goes invisible. Reg enters stealth mode, and Aepheus casts dancing lights. You send your humanoid light creature into the square and kind of scurrying off into one direction. And as you expected, it does catch the attention of the group of dogs, the little pack of dogs that you see. And those hounds do start to move in the direction of the lights, apparently trying to chase the lights to get close. It looks like at the moment the square is empty, and now is your chance.
Let's make way.
Is everybody going to try and make a pretty quick?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just mirroring Aepheus, pretty much sticking with him the whole way.
Okay. I am going to say that because Reg did so good on his move silently, he doesn't really need to make another check in order to like move silently and like move quickly because he did so well. On the other hand, this square is it looks like it should be flat or it used to be flat, but the stones are all cocked and you know there's some protruding and some you know go it's a mess. It's like Pittsburgh streets. It's like or like West Virginia streets, or it's just like a mess. So for Brundy and Aepheus, I'm gonna have you both make dexterity checks in order to move fast, but also like kind of move quietly as not to alert the houndoos. Oh,
Nice. Ah,
At least
man.
you're invisible.
okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you head out, all three of you, and everybody's fairly quiet, except for Grundy, who, of course, he is invisible, but he's also probably got the most crap, honestly, if he's like
Yeah.
has all his
On
stuff,
chain, right?
a chain and everything, so he's like chink chink chink, there's all this stuff, and his armor and whatnot. So he is still making a little bit of noise, but not like a terrible, like not a hugely loud amount of noise. He's just not quiet, which Reg is completely quiet, and even Aepheus is like pretty quiet. So there's some wind, there's some noise down here. It seems like so far you're okay. The hounds are kind of chasing the light. Now, with that spell, do you have to do anything? You
It's
don't need
just a
to.
range requirement. I don't think it's a
Right.
concentration thing.
So you didn't have any concentrating to do. So it looks like you can kind of just move the light around. So you have to kind of pay attention to that in order to move it in a way that that's not gonna lead them back
Yeah.
around to you. So you are kind of half paying attention to that. But now you're like almost right up to this statue, only about 10 feet from it. The statue is raised up on a little pedestal, maybe about 3 feet high, and maybe about a 3 foot cube. The statue itself is of what looks like a knight, and he's got chains, mandacles,
No.
manacles.
Manticles.
Mandibles.
Manticles.
Manticores. He's got manticores.
There's a manticore here.
he's, he's got he's got
He's got
manticles.
You know what I meant.
No,
He's got chains.
Everybody back in the grinder had those manticles.
Yes. He's got chains around his wrists and his ankles, and the chains kind of hang down to somewhat below the actual statue, kind of in front of a pretty large plaque on the front of the pedestal that the statue is on.
Are the chains real, or are they part of the statue?
Well, the statue looks like it might be made of brass. And the chains are also brass, but they look like they look like chains. They don't look like they're molded in a way that they're stationary. They do look like you could pick them up and jangle them around. But they're the same material as the statue. Everything is in brass.
My notes here. Are my notes right? So
I don't know.
what I wrote down what I wrote down is the spike is on the west end of town, a rival establishment with a statue of a warrior in the courtyard. The spike is dedicated to the veterans of the Blood War. So I assume we're to see the establishment somewhere, right?
In this courtyard, if this is the statue.
This is the statue. This is the only courtyard in the west end of town, especially the only abandoned one that you could see. It seems to meet all of the criteria that the devilish bartender gave you. I mean, he is a devil, but it seems right. You don't see any establishment. You definitely see the statue, though.
Wait, no establishment at all? Like, it's a courtyard and it's just
big, empty. No, it's a giant, empty square with this statue kind of in the middle of it.
What's that
Okay.
say?
I'll look down and read the plaque.
Okay. You look down and you read the plaque. You look down and you read the plaque. It takes you a second because the infernal is kind of old. But it says freedom is an illusion. And if you're right, it says chains are earned.
Steve hits us with another puzzle.
Oh no.
God damn it.
At least these aren't discs that he tried to draw in haste.
Yeah, that was really bad. It was better that we had discs that I made, but I don't think this is too bad.
That's what you said about those.
Mm,
That's what you say about every single puzzle.
He said freedom is an illusion.
chains are earned.
Chains are earned.
It's on a big, yes, exactly. Big brass plaque on the pedestal under the statue, which is also weird because the statue is the statue of like a regular guy, like not a demon or a devil, or it's like, at least as far as you can tell, it looks like just a guy in armor, in chains, just kind of just standing straight, with the chains, his arms in front of him, chains kind of hanging down from the, clamped on to his wrists, and then also clamped on to his feet, his ankles.
Are they locked? The chains? Could we possibly try to take them off?
I don't know. Are you gonna check? Do you check the hands, the feet?
I don't, because that would break my invisibility, I think.
I'm
But
going
I
to
will
look around.
tell Aepheus. Aepheus, you maybe try the manacles on that statue.
Okay. I'm going to try to mess around with the manacles and the chains without making any noise.
Okay.
And I'm going to keep an eye on the dogs.
Okay. You're looking at the dogs. Aepheus is going to make an attempt to mess with the chains, but at the same time, he's kind of, though he doesn't have to concentrate on that spell, he kind of
He's
still
like
has
looking
to
back and
guide the thing. So go ahead and make an intelligence check to just.
ooh,
It's
things are starting to get harder.
complicated because you got a lot of stuff going on, but you're able to kind of manage it, and you still have it kind of off on the fringes of the square. So, because basically the way that it's set up is it's almost like a great big square courtyard, and the buildings on the outside beyond where the chains and wires are would be the buildings that like surrounded the courtyard. So really just the chains and wires and everything. It's almost like it's just a big empty square with this statue in the middle that's kind of just chained off. And it's really, really big. So you're kind of like in the middle of it. It almost looks like, imagine like, the big empty squares that you see in like the Soviet Union, where there's like a statue in the middle of this giant square with just like an obscene amount of space around the statue. Imagine that. That's what it looks like, except for that the ground is broken. So you're kind of in the middle. Aepheus is he messes with one of the chains, and it looks like uh they might be able to come off.
Oh, well, then we'll take them off.
Go ahead and make a dexterity check. They are heavy, and definitely seems like they're gonna rattle if you're not very careful.
Yep.
Oh no.
So they're also thick and metal. And so when you pull it off, it actually like you kind of had to struggle a little bit to pull it. So when you pulled it, it kind of went and made like a kind of a noise, and then like the chains rattled. When you did it, the chains popped off both arms, and they kind of are now hanging free. But also at the same time, it was enough to alert those hounds to your presence. Now, you've lured them pretty far away, but you also imagine that they're pretty fast. And they turn to look at you.
It's 6 o'clock.
And I think that this is where we have to call
Where
it.
we end. Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
Unfortunately, but yep, I think
Cliffhanger.
that's where we have to call it right there.
This is a big cliffhanger, though. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.